I'm back. This is Lauren Holley-Allen, your content creator for good. And you're on Emergency Management Made Easy with Lauren. And this is February 3rd, 2026, class 39 in our series. We've come a long way together. Title today, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, which is OSHA, which you learned about last week. But we're going to do part two today. So what is OSHA for people who did not take the last class? OSHA is a federal agency that ensures safe, healthy working conditions for employees. The agency sets and enforces safety standards across most private industries, including construction, manufacturing, and healthcare, while providing training, education, support, and assistance for U.S. citizens. That is what this federal agency does. And before I start our questionnaire that will probably feel more like a class assignment or test, no worries. It's more than that. So before I jump into our class, the meat of our class for the day, I want to share some news. You know, most time when I do a news report, it's not so positive, like during Christmas when we had the fire that happened in the nursing home. But today is totally different. News update. Credit. The Christian Recorder is the official paper of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, AME. They sent this to me January 29, 2026. And for that, I am extremely appreciative. Thank you so much for thinking of me and this series. I am an AME, African Methodist Episcopal. My church is Mount Calvary AME Church in Towson, Maryland. And I've been there for many, many years. So the following news was announced from Atlanta, Georgia on January 28th of 2026. Morris Brown College announced that the institution has received support that will help the college to enhance campus security, along with additional funding for endowment scholarships and the institution's general operation. That's good news. The support totals $810,000, with $700,000 of that through a grant sponsored by U.S. Congresswoman Nikema Williams, who serves Georgia's 5th Congressional District and is a member of the Congressional Bipartisan HBCU. HBCUs are historical Black colleges and universities, and she is in the HBCU caucus. The grant will support the following: creating coordination and emergency response plans. We know a little bit about that, don't we? Increasing safety awareness through media and public relations, improving safety personnel communications, upgrading public safety technology, conducting potential risk and threat assessments, and training and hiring of additional public safety personnel. How sweet it is. Morris Brown College is witnessing great growth. Support that helps to enhance campus security will truly make a difference as we prioritize the safety of our students, faculty, and staff, said Morris Brown's college president, Dr. Kevin James. This $700,000 for Morris Brown College reflects a simple truth: our students deserve to feel safe where they learn, said Representative Williams. As our HBCUs continue to face increasing threats, these federal funds will support critical safe infrastructure so that students, faculty, and staff can learn and work in an environment that is secure, responsive, and prepared. So we're going to move on for our training, which are questions. No worries. This training will familiarize you with questions you should expect during various OSHA inspections. In addition, these questions are similar to and will familiarize you with the classes you have received during training. For those who own a book, you will find these questions in the Useful Forms section starting on page 168. Book title: You Can Write a Step-by-Step House of Worship, Emergency Safety, and Security Plan. Author: me, Lauren Holley-Allen, MA, Psych Assistant. So, those who do not have a book, have not purchased a book, no worries. Make sure you have your legal pad ready. Make sure you have your pencils, pens, whatever you prefer to use to write, and take good notes. That's what I emphasize to everybody, whether you have a book or not, because you can always play the videos back and you can tighten your notes. Organize them in a way so that you can go to your meeting and you'll have this information. So let's get started. Quick quiz notes. You've heard that before, those who know me. Let's compare some of these questions that when OSHA arrives at your agency with your supervisors and administrators, and you are on the training team, will follow along, I'm sure, with your questions. These questions should prompt you to take classes you've missed. We started May 2025. No worries. It's a series. So it's like 20-minute questions. And all you have to do is go through and decide which questions you need the most based on what these questions were today. And make good notes right from the videos. This is easy. I made it easy for you as I promised. I don't expect you to know all the answers to these questions. It depends on your household, place of business, occupation, and your training background, where you work and what you did there and what you are doing there. So let's get started. Occupational and Safety and Health Administration, OSHA inspection questionnaires for employees. They'll ask the question. They'll say, mark whether it's completed, what needs attention in your business, what is satisfactory as a result of your answers, and remember, you will be escorting OSHA through your business. You'll be escorting them through. And what is not needed. What is satisfactory and what is not needed. So you'll have many options as you walk through with OSHA. Quick tip, we'll talk about Part 1 questionnaire questions from last week when we're done with these. All right. In case of fire, for your information if you're new, and everyone who's been working with me, from the beginning of December to the end of December, we worked on, trained, and learned about fire safety, especially after that fire that occurred in December and people died in Pennsylvania. So we just worked fire. We call it Red Fire December. We dealt with fire safety the entire month. Something a little slower. And what I did, I took one series and just took 4 weeks to teach it. And I think everybody enjoyed it. It was slow. It's Christmas. Everybody's on vacation. At least some of us were. So let's start the questions. In case of fire, I'm OSHA. I'm talking with your supervisor. I'm asking questions. You're escorting me through your break room, your cafeteria, and you're in your house taking notes so that you can add to your fire safety training. Are medical and fire emergencies practiced on a scheduled basis like drills? Do you drill on this? Are medical and fire emergencies practiced on a scheduled basis? I'm going to add drills. Is the sprinkler system inspected annually, once a year? Are items stored within 18 inches of any sprinkler heads? Are sprinkler heads that are exposed to potential physical damage protected with a metal guard? Are any items being hung from sprinkler heads? For example, holiday decorations? Were they? Are they? Is the area around the sprinkler system shut off valve clear of all obstacles? Maintenance team, you, emergency management team, you're walking with OSHA and your supervisor. You're walking and talking. Cafeteria staff, walking and talking, especially who is the person who sits on the emergency team, who writes the plans for your organization, your store. Are the fire protection sensors unobstructed, operational, and periodically tested according to manufacturer specifications by a certified contractor? That's the law. Not your friend James, a certified contractor, annual. Is the fire alarm system tested on an annual basis by a certified contractor? I repeat. Are fire extinguishers, defibrillators, defibrillator equipment serviced according to local fire department and manufacturer specifications? Are flammable and combustible liquids appropriately marked and kept in a UL listed, locked, flammable storage cabinet? Are candles only used under appropriate supervision? Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Have all heating and cooling units been inspected? Are combustible materials kept at least 36 inches from the furnace or boiler? Are you making notes? Remember, you can play this video again and again until you get it just the way you want your notes for your next meeting, planning meeting, emergency training, planning meeting, to upgrade your notes and your plans. It's emergency safety and security plan. You're going to upgrade those 2-3 times a year if you need to. You don't have to wait annually or biannually. In your regular meetings, you're upgrading, you're changing, you're evolving as your business grows. Small business, you're going to start with 10 people or less. You don't know how you're going to grow, but as you grow, this information will help you to understand what you need to do that's different. Under 10 employees, you verbalize your planning, but I say you verbalize it and write it down in case a lawyer needs it later or you're sued for any reason. If you own a parking garage, somebody might hit your car or they might have an accident and you just need your records. What does your planning look like for your employees? You're organized. Your insurance company will need to know you are organized. You have a plan, an emergency plan, a safety plan. And I'm saying this for not the people who've been sitting with me for months on end. They know this, but for the new people. I'll repeat this. Are combustible materials kept at least 36 inches from the furnace or boiler? Are the boiler's inspection certificates posted in a boiler room? Because OSHA will want to see that. Is trash stored in enclosed containers placed outside daily or after use? You have bears, raccoons, you know what states you live in. Make sure that the trash is tight and tied down. Are cleaning products well marked and stored in safe, locked places? Are all combustible materials, boxes, paper products stored in appropriate locations and kept at least 36 inches away from any heating equipment or electrical panels? Because we want to avoid fires. Are cleaning rags appropriately stored in metal containers with self-closing lids? Otherwise, a spark could start a fire. A gas leak could enhance a fire. And I do have a class for you on gas leaks for those who are new. It's there. Are buildings' sump pumps and their battery backup tested? Let's go into the kitchen. Yes, even the kitchen at home. Let's go into the kitchen. The break room. The cafeteria. Let's go in there with OSHA. I'm the OSHA person today. Just guiding you through, giving you a sense of what questions your supervisor, your administrator, small business person might have to answer. Is the hood and ventilation system installed over the cooking equipment, cleaned on a regular, periodic basis, including filters, hoods, and ductwork? Remember the nursing home in 2025 and the fire that occurred and how many people died and how many people were injured in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. Is the general cooking area clean and in good to excellent condition? Are proper food preparation protocols in place and being followed, which includes food preparation and serving, proper storage and sanitation? That speaks for itself. Sanitation in the cafeteria, keeping the break room clean, the refrigerator, scrubbing out the coffee pots. This is flu season, cold and flu season during the winter months. Do you have a manual activation of the automatic fire suppression system? They'll want to see it. Have the kitchen staff employees trained to manually activate the system when needed manually if it fails? Is the automatic fire suppression system protecting the deep fat fryers and grease producing appliances? Are they serviced by a certified contractor according to the appliance specifications? Are your fire extinguishers available when needed? Are they? Fire extinguishers. Everyone should know how to use them. Legal liability insurance and security. And I taught a class on that too. Do you have an accident prevention policy or mission statement? What if the bank wants to see it? Or the insurance company, as a result of a fire or an accident, want to see it? Have your paperwork, always have your paperwork up to date and filed in two places. Two places. Your physical facility, where you are, where you're responsible for legally, but off campus. You pick a place. Even if it's a safe deposit box, I don't know. But you need to always have your paperwork available double. And that harkens back to OSHA Part 1. And I'll leave it to you to go back and read it in the interest of time. You have to do your own work, your own research, your own homework. I'm making it easy for you, but I'm not doing it for you. I'm giving you the information for you to follow through. Okay. Do you have an accident prevention policy or mission statement? Repeat it. Are there written performance and accountability standards and objectives for managers and leadership? That's right. The legalese. Do you have emergency response procedures, including notification of authorities, parents, next of kin, and officials? Are emergency phone numbers posted by all telephones and cell phone contact lists? Are they available in off-site locations? One business, two locations for records, on-site and off-site. And I taught on this. If in fact another COVID exists, you have to shut down, you're flooded, the state or federal government or authorities in your country says you got to shut your business down. You have a place to go? Do you have a plan? Do you have a plan off-site? If you're a church, have you buddied up with another church that you can use if there's an emergency? Your records, are they where you can put your hands on them so you'll know where your employees are, their phone numbers, their addresses, so you can pay them. You can pay your employees. Your insurance company, you have the correct insurance for payment of employees during a shutdown, during emergencies, and you have to reach them Let them know what's going on so they can get paid. Your office staff. Any staff, no matter whether it's small business or a larger business. Basics. Do you have written standards of conduct? That is so right. For adults and children, including other relationships, establishing parameters of conduct and contact during and after normal activity hours, work hours. Does the written standard include parameters for online conduct and contact with children and youth, including email and social networking sites for your employees as well? Are parents fully informed about the activities their children will be involved in at your daycare center, at your school, at your college? When they're on the bus going to other schools for sports or plays, whatever they're involved in. Do ushers, servers, volunteers, and leadership have guidelines to follow when dealing with indigent, homeless, for mentally ill visitors, special needs visitors, and congregants and patients? I repeat, go through these videos where you're not proficient, where you missed, how to evacuate special needs people, people in wheelchairs, the elderly, all of it. You need training. And hopefully this OSHA questionnaire reminds you and informs you of what you need to train on and what you've missed and what you need to know. Is there offering and financial protocol procedures? Is all funds properly transported by security and designees and recorded by a team of 2 or more non-related individuals in any business office anywhere, large or small? Are finances immediately deposited in a bank or night depository? Are checks stamped for deposit only immediately upon receipt? Some people use Cash App and other business entities. Other people still will write a check or give cash. I'm a cash person. Or I will give a check for a large amount at specific times. But for the most part, I like to work in cash, especially when at church. That's what I do. Old school. When the business is used by outside groups, is there a person designated to record who attends meetings, gatherings, weddings, to ensure your campus is always secure? Are exit signs visible in the line of sight and shown to all visitors? This is where you exit out of this door in case of emergency. And also your lighting should be there. Your signs should be there. However, if it's a wedding or a workshop, it's a good idea to let people know where the exits are. Have local laws been researched to determine requirements for hiring security guards? Have you thought about this one? I did a whole section on guns in churches, organizations, the security team. Are security guards properly vetted screened and trained and supervised? Do they hold proper, up-to-date license permits? If hired security services are used, a company, have consultations with an attorney, local law enforcement, and insurance agents been done to determine the feasibility of using such services? Are armed guards properly licensed, hold necessary permits, and only carry legal and authorized weapons, guns, whatever the weapons are? Have employees and leaders been trained in how to handle behaviors that might become violent? I've done an entire section for you on that. Untoward behavior. You're in the clinic. A patient comes in. Patient becomes angry. How do you handle that? How do you handle mental health issues in your hospital, in your clinic? Go back for new people and people who have missed their classes and train and get trained. At least you can play the video over and over again. So, remember, some of the questions may not apply to you. They may not. If you missed if you missed part 1 of the OSHA questions, I refer you to class number 38 in the series, dated January 27. Title: Getting You and Your Employees Ready for Your OSHA Inspection. That's part 1. I refer you to part 1 because you just received part 2 today. And it's a good idea if you missed part 1 to go back. And that's all I have for you today. That's what I have for you today. How to work with me? Prepare before it happens at Outlook.com. Prepare before it happens at Outlook.com. Also, there's a section for comments on YouTube. You can comment, you can contact me there as well for consultation, for questions. This is a little bit over because of the amount of information I've imparted today. So there are times I won't be able to answer all your questions. But if you email me, I'll try to slip it in. Like I slipped some in today. Some questions. Answered a few. But I can't answer all the questions. If you need consultation, contact me and we will make it happen. I'll do a Zoom call. You can pay on Cash App. You can. There's a lot of things we can do. If you need a book, the information is also on YouTube. But if you Google the title of the book, there'll be a drop down and you can see what the costs are in different bookshops, online, and of course Amazon. So you can get an ebook, you can get a hardback, or you can get a paperback. I've been very thorough with that, as now I'm writing my second book, my more secular book. So you will have that as well. So thank you for coming. Stay safe. Make sure you shovel your property to avoid lawsuits and fines. Shovel. We shoveled the first day here in Towson, Maryland, because we got on it. We got on it. And some of my neighbors who waited a few days, they had to try to break through ice and couldn't move their cars. So be mindful. Always be safe. Always have safety in your mind. Proactive. Thinking ahead. I don't mean to nag you, but now we know each other. We have a relationship. And you may look at me and say, oh, just tell us how you really feel. I feel great because I am your content creator for good. Because you're good, I want you to have what you need to be safe. Thank you for coming. See you next week. Bye bye.